Hey guys, what's going on? If you figured it out by now, there was a lot of pedal tone in there. Today I'm going to go over the pedal tone. A lot of different ways to use a pedal tone. A pedal tone is a repeated note that you use to keep a pedal going. It's a repeated note used as a pedal. A pedal tone is just that, a repeated note. So I'm going to show you many ways to use the repeated note. The way you just saw me, I'm going to give you hard rock and metal ways to use it. You just saw me use it in a couple of different ways. I'm going to go over some of the things I just did, because a lot of that is stuff that people have been emailing me questions for. So when I get enough emails for the same thing, then I put out a video for it. And one of the a lot of the emails are asking me to put out something on repeated notes or pedal tones. So some people call them repeated notes, is whatever the emails come in as, but most reference points, most places that reference to this type of technique, we'll call it a pedal tone, because you're basically pedaling over and over again on the same note. And so most places and people in published printed things will call it a pedal tone, and that's just what it is. We're pedaling over and over again that same note. There are a lot of ways to do it. I just did about at least 2 or 3 different ways in the intro video for you. So I will go back over some of that stuff again. Let's get to all that good stuff, okay? Nice to have the little intro piece to, watch a little candy, whatever. Some guys have commented they like watching that stuff. I just do it to give it an intro, so it's, something to watch before we get started. That's all. Just the way I like to intro in. Anyway, I'm going to show you what the pedal tones are. They're all over the music, and I watch a lot of guys play chords, and I see a lot of things that don't use the pedal tones, and that's fine. And we don't use them all the time. But when we do use them, you want to be good at them, because it's an acquired skill. It takes a little time to get it down. And I'll do my best to make it easy for you, because I don't think it's that difficult if it's explained in an easy way. So let's just get right to the pedal tone. Pedal tone off the E string is probably the easiest way to use one. You just simply count to 4 and you whack a chord and you smack a chord around it. So you start with a 4 count, and then as you just saw, I threw a 1 count in there. So the amount of times that you hit the pedal tone are going to determine the type of dynamics you lay into your music. We'll start with something easy, 4s. Once you got the 4 count down, it's very simple. You're palm muting the string. Whatever sound you like the best, depending on where you put your hand and where how far back you're starting that mutation on the string. Well, it depends what you want. I like that low bassy tone. That's what I like. Now, I've got a little bit of delay echo going there, because I don't want it to be so dry. It can be any way you want. Now, once you can get the 4 count down and you hit the chord, right? You're able to whack this chord. You can do the chord thing as whatever you want. You need 4 pumps, and then whatever you want to do over here. Whatever you want to do. The bottom line is once we can do the 4, we're gonna add 2. We're gonna switch to the 2 count. And now we're adding some dynamics to the pedal tone. See that? Now I might have in the beginning of that progression added a 1 count after the 2. And I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to throw the 2, we're going to go 4, 2, 1 on the pedal tone. See that? Four, 4, 2, 2, 1. That's what I did. 4 times. 4 pedals and a chord. 4, 4, 2, 2, 1. It's real quick right there. Just do 4 once, 2 once, 1 once. Okay. That's actually a shorter, more accurate version, I guess. 4, 2, 1. I did 4, 2, 1, 1 before. But if you just want to do 4, then 2, then 1, it would be that quick. 4 chord, 2 chord, 1 chord. I'm used to doing 2 1s because I keep it in a 4/4 time signature, so that requires 4 of them. I do a 2 for twice, and maybe 1 and 1, or 4, 2, 1, 1 is usually a typical way I'll do it. Like that. So these are simple ways to do it. Obviously, you play to your abilities. And then you can throw those pedal tones anywhere you want. So I'm going to get you to be able to do that. You watch my channel, follow these videos, and you'll be able to do stuff like that in a couple months at tops. You see me? I see you right there. You think I don't see you, but I see you in that red shirt. I see you in the green sweatshirt. I know you're wearing black. I see you. I know you're all wearing different colors. I see I see the colors you're wearing. Don't think I don't see. I see that kid right there with the Iron Maiden shirt on, and I see that guy right there with the Born of Osiris shirt. I see that guy right there, loving Motorhead. I know. I see you all. All the bands I mentioned use these things. Just that their drums are heavier or lighter depending on the band, and the vocals are heavier or lighter. But the guitar riffs, they can be tuned wherever to make it heavier. But they all use the same stuff. Whether you're in Motorhead or Born of Osiris, they're both. Jason Richardson is going like this. Where Phil Campbell might be just going. He might be doing a little different, right? So like Phil might go. Towards the end of their career, they modernize the songs, and when you're live, they do things different. So everybody's doing some sort of a pedal tone. Even the earlier ones you saw me do off the A string. They're just chords played off the A string pedal tone, which we'll get to that as well. But wrapping up this E string thing here, we can do things like this. And there's your pedal tone. Just know your count. You can do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just gonna go. And you see the change there, right? There's the pedal, pedal. You see how I changed the count? Then it just goes to. Then it goes to 1s. So you practice 4, 2, 1 because the common metal does that. Because it's a great way to end what you're doing. You got to bring it down to, slow it down and bring it down to an ending. And so 4, 2, 1 does just that. So you just practice a simple way to memorize the 4, 2, 1. You just practice the straight down pump with the chord, and then you'll memorize that. You'll begin to understand what this 4, 2, 1 thing is. There's a 4 count. That keeps it in 4/4 time. So practice something just like that. And then just speed it up, because the idea is once you know how to play it, your brain has to memorize it faster and faster, which means your brain has to think it and process it quicker. Just like you remember Pentium processors, right? We all want a faster processor in your phone. Same thing in your brain. Your brain is a processor. The only difference is you have to program the speed. And the speed gets programmed by you becoming so good at it that speed is easy. So you have to work at getting faster by making your brain be able to think it faster. And so that's the skill. So then after a little while, you get it quicker. And then you move to the alternate pedal. It just gets easier when you make it faster. So you start with slow, perfect, slowly. Perfection, slowly. You get it right, and you get it clean, slowly. Once you have it clean and right, it will get faster. But it never really seems to get much faster if it's sloppy, because it's falling off and being sloppy instead of being faster. So if it's falling away from being correct, then it's not being fast, because it's like it's busy messing up. It's not busy being fast. So you know what I mean? You got to kind of, the best way to do it is to get it correctly, figure it out slowly to get it right. Once you've got it right, then all you got to do is practice for the speed. But if it's still sloppy and you're trying to get faster, it's just never going to work. The process doesn't work like that. You have to learn. So there are players who think that you can mess things up and make mistakes, and then you'll just get better and eventually you won't make the mistakes, right? I guess that's one way. That is a theory of looking at it, and I guess sometimes that works. But there's also another version of that theory, and that is if you never make the mistake from the beginning, you never have to practice to get it right. You just have to practice to make it faster and smoother. But learning it and getting it correctly is over with and done with. You did that already. So that's the schooling that I mostly come from. I always played it slowly and got it right, and then said to myself, now that I understand what it is, because I can play it, I just got to make it faster, which means I understand now that I got to get my brain to think this thing quicker. And the only way your brain's going to think it quicker is to memorize it better, because when you have it memorized, you can think it faster. And so that's the game here. That's the thing that guitar players must understand. The game is you're teaching your brain is a muscle. We all know this. And if you didn't know it, you know it now. Just like a bicep, your brain is a muscle. If you want to work that brain, you got to make it stronger at what it does. And what it does is it memorizes. It processes. So you have to make it better at memorizing and processing notes if you want to be a great player. So that it can be done by everyone. That has nothing to do with your natural abilities. That has to do with your heart. How bad do you want it? I the tiger, man. I the tiger. So how bad do you want it? That's all it is. That has nothing to do with ability. This is the guy that just wants it more than the next guy. That's all this is about. So just remember that, okay? There's basics involved. Now, moving right along, let's move to the A string. This is more for the hard rock version guy in you, and for those guys who are writing rock songs. Writing off the A string pedal, and then using movable shapes such as these. What's this note here? A and C. So A and C makes A minor. If this is C, that's B. If this is A, that's G. So now we have G and B. That would make G major. If I move a G major down a whole step, I get F major, F and A. Then if I move this down, I get an E. And you saw me play this before. This is E. That's G. E and G makes E minor. So what key am I in, guys? I got an A minor. I got a G major. I got an E minor. I got an F major. Then I arpeggiate the E, the B, and the G. Really, I should see E, B, and A. Yeah. That would be E, B, B, right? E, 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 right? It's got B, and then another B. What do we call the E, B, B? Well, E and B is just E and B, but then I play two B's in a row. E, B, and B again. The B and the B is called a unison. All right, so we got a little A minor action with the A. Got the 5th string A going. Got a little A minor chord. Get my fingers out of the way, you can see that. So the pedal is down, down, and then up, down, up. That's what it is. Down, down, up, down, up. And you just move it. See the pattern? Now when you speed the pattern, so you're going to memorize it slowly to get it down like that. Your brain has to learn that pattern. And it's got to learn it slow at first. So first you will learn it slowly. You'll go, I can get this after a few minutes. And then you practice for the speed. As you memorize it stronger, you'll be able to play it faster. Now all I do is I arpeggiate the strings beneath. I either go 2 or 3, depending where I am. Now right in here, I'm using box patterns, and I'm deciding which boxes I want. So right now, I'm in the key of A minor, but I used the G Ionian box because it went F sharp, G, A, and then I went, see that, B, C, D. Because I went back to an A, which is in both keys, A minor and E minor. And I explained the doorway chords in another video. So I did a little doorway thing right there. I went from an A minor riff right to an E minor lick because I came off the A minor chord. And coming off A minor, I can go to any key that has A minor in it. So I went to the E minor for the lick because it's a more melodic sequence to be an A minor or E minor than it would be to be an A minor right there. To play this as B, F, or F, G, A is not the vibe I want. I want this vibe. I like it better. It's plain and simple, that's all. I'm the artist here. I decided what I like. I like it better than going staying to the F for the A minor. I don't want the F for the A minor key. I don't like it in this spot. A minor and G are in 2 keys. They're in A minor and they're in E minor. So I went to the E minor sound. So when I basically what I did was I played the chord sequence in complete. When the whole sequence is complete using this F, it's in A minor. That's all A minor. Then I come back here to the A minor, and immediately I say to myself, this is now my doorway chord. I'm out of the key of A minor. I'm now in E minor. So when I go from this A minor to the G, from this G, I say to myself, I've now doorwayed out of A minor. I now consider myself to be in E minor, and I'm going to go to the E minor patterns, which are going to be this. I'm now, in other words, I'm in the G Ionian box for the key of G major, using these two spots from the G major key box, G major box 1. I'm using that. And then I may even use on the A string, the D and the E, and then get back to the A minor. What I'm saying is I can do that because A minor is in the key of E minor. So I just think to myself, stop being in A minor and go to E minor, which is what I did for the lick. So we have the chords in E minor, I have our A minor rather, and I have the lick in E minor. And that's what I did for this little thing. I really can't see over the neck here. I'm not looking. But I imagine it's something like this. Again, so little economy picking here, guys. Little picking it once for the 6 notes. And I pick these 3 because I want to accent. I want a stronger sound on the way out, ending this lick. So really just the first piece is hammered and pulled, which is the economy section of the lick. And the rest is just regular picked. Simple, right? It's not so bad when you explain it. Hey, who else is going to sit there and stop to tell you, hey, this is an economy section. Back to the regular section. Now here I can do anything. I can go like this to the F sharp and stay in a key of E minor. If you notice, I even to the F to stay to the A minor. That's what I did. Because the A minor is darker than a Dorian, and a Dorian uses the F sharp. I wanted something darker. So I went for the half step right there instead of the whole. See the difference? Wow. That's why Dorian is not as dark as Aeolian, because Aeolian, they all have the same amount of steps, but when I'm playing off the E, you're playing off this note, E, you're going to get a darker sound if you only go a half step away from the E. So when I came back through this little lick thing here, I had a choice to go here or there. I went here. And it doesn't sound bad. It sounds perfectly fine. Because I know I know how to make it sound that way. Just like now, you know how to make it sound that way. You do, and so can you. So don't tell yourself you can't. I know you can. I just watched you. I just sat here and watched you learn this lesson. I just watched you learn how this is done. So now I know you can do it. You just haven't tried it yet, but I know you can. And these are all ways to use pedal tones, okay? So here we're going to just do a simple A. I'm going to go over these patterns slowly so you can see them. I'll try to mute it for you so you don't hear that. Isn't that badass? All the way back to the A. You just do a little. You can do a little tremolo picking thing. Slide it back down, and then right back into that. Take the ring finger, slap it right down, ride it on the A string, back up and down. How long is it going to take you to memorize this little pattern, guys? If you sit here for 15 minutes and just keep repeating this in 15 minutes, let's just say you go over this thing like 181 times. I mean, if you do that 150, 250 times, right? Don't you? Don't you think in 150 times, 200 times of the same exact move? I mean, if you just sit here, if you just figure it out and get it. Right, that's the same thing. You just keep repeating it over and over. I mean, I might be altering it a hair because it's really hard to play this thing for me. For me, they're just naturally, I just play them. So to break them down, it's a little bit weird to slow them down like that. I never really do. Plus, I have so many little variations of them. Sometimes I just drift into another variation. So if I do, then just grab the count of whatever you hear, whatever you see me play, figure out that count, and then use it. Because I might vary it 3 or 4 different times because I can, within that same count, I can vary it. Let me see if I can vary it right now for you, just give you a couple different quick versions of the same thing. Right? You could just start out with a simple alternate thing, alternate on the A string, and then just be in control so you can hit this chord on the following 2 strings when you're ready, like this. Now what I do here is I hit it on the way up. Can you tell that's 12? It's 8 and then 4. Right, 8. Or you can count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 1 and 2 and bang. And then you're going to naturally see me just throw a lick in. And then I just pick whatever key I want. So right now I'm seeing B, C, D, E, F, and G. And just for you guys that are working on it, sometimes you would pick them both down. Sometimes you pick them both on the way down and up. Sometimes you start on the up. Or like this. Just the A string on the up stroke. Here, you do it up on this A string and down on the D, you're working the inside picking, right? So you go up and then down, up, down. You're working on your inside picking. You're inside the 2 strings. If you work on the outside picking, you're down and up. Then you're down, up. That's the outside of the strings. So you should be able to start this little lick from the down and the up. You see me just flip-flop from either one. That's what you need to be able to do, flip-flop. You should be able to go flip-flopping from down and up, inside out to inside out, outside in, inside out, outside in, like this. That's what you should be able to do. Now, that is pedal toning. I think if you watch the whole video and you're able to do every exercise I showed you, I don't see how and why you wouldn't be able to be a pedal tone beast in not that long of a time. And then on top of that, to get yourself a little bat horsey too, and you got yourself a bar, you could do some flutter. Flutter is the king. Anyway, that's a little bonus thing. Have a nice day, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.